Hi, I'm Jennifer Jones, author of the Southern California Secret Diet Club, which is the original gluten-free guidebook. My website is jennifervjones.com, where you can find a link to my book, a link to join the club, which is our Facebook group online, of course, and a link to over 300 gluten-free products that some of them are really just beneficial to you because they are gluten-free. For example, my lips. I just literally walked in the house and my lips are burning. I'm like really, it's very dry up here today. So you might wonder why gluten-free cosmetics. It's, for example, if I lip my lips, I'm not eating gluten in my lipstick. So you can find those things there. But the other thing about gluten-free products is that you can find things like enzymes and cleanses and detoxes that not only help you digest the food that you're eating if it has those proteins in it. And I'll talk about some other inflammatory foods because that's what it comes down to, is inflammation, but also ways to pull out the bloat, because that's what happens. So I'll just tell you really quickly about me. I grew up just sick. I was born basically from the month 6 months old or so. I was hospitalized for asthma, and then all through my life until really my late 20s, my mid to late 20s. And I found that if I didn't eat gluten and lactose, I had far fewer problems with asthma. And as I got even older still, and I started having back problems and realized I have spondylolisthesis, which is a forward slippage of the spinal column for me off of the sacrum. So with that, there's a lot of pain involved, and I find that I'm relatively functional as long as I am not inflamed. So if I eat gluten without using enzymes, first of all, I couldn't eat gluten all the time, even if I did use the enzymes all the time. There's such an attack on the body and an inflammatory response. But if you eat gluten sometimes and take enzymes with that, you're pretty much okay. And so that's another, reason to have a good product line to back you up in the lifestyle that you want to live, so that you can live a little more normally. But with that broken back, I can't have any inflammation in my abdomen and lower back, and acidic gluten is also acidic, so that causes the inflammation to create even more pain, in not just taking up space and causing pressure, but actual pain from that acidic environment. So also being on the autistic spectrum, I, from a young age, reacted. I'm like the canary in the coal mine. I react to things. So I was able, through my life, to really pinpoint, there's my dogs, I was able to pinpoint some of the things earlier than most people because I was reacting to them, not more than most people, but I'm very, very aware of the reactions and the changes in my body when I eat or drink things or am exposed to certain chemicals, for example. So I don't know what's going on out there, but my dogs will be quiet in a minute, I hope. And I wrote my book in 2004, and nobody had really heard of gluten. My book is actually, to my knowledge, the first gluten-free guidebook on the market. I wasn't the first one aware of gluten because obviously I had to learn it from somewhere. Dr. Feingold at feingold.org has been talking about what's in your grocery cart is making you sick, especially your kids, and the inflammation. And he talks a lot about gluten as it relates to autism. So he's been on the forefront of this information for a very, very long time. The research is out there. I've just done so much of it and put it in a very condensed book form. It's under 70 pages, because in order to go gluten-free, you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to know everything I know. You just need to know some things that I know and how to do it. So I'm going to explain to you what gluten is, and it took me a long time to really discover what it really is and what really happens and how it really works. So just really quick, gluten itself is just simple. It's the protein found in the hull of the wheat that protects it while it grows from sun, wind, and rain. And then when the wheat sprouts, the hull falls away and the wheat is food. And that would be natural or organic type of wheat that hasn't been modified a bunch of times. So the hull falls away, and so does the gluten. However, in our food industry, we don't waste anything, not even just in our food industry. There's any byproduct that is left over from any one of the industries that you can imagine, including food, is taken and done something with and stuck somewhere. And so in gluten, they grind up the hull and they stick it in everything. It's a filler. So their bottom line is more because they're putting less actual product in there and more filler and byproduct. And that byproduct very often is the wheat and wheat gluten. So that's what gluten is. It is very sticky. It's water insoluble. I mean, imagine when your wheat growing out of the prairie getting whipped with, you know, rain and wind and sitting in the sun all day long and all the temperatures and humidity, for example. It's got to have a water insoluble environment. So when you put it in your body, it's not really going to digest or break down, and we don't have enzymes for things we're not supposed to be eating anyway. So that is why it creates that in bread. If you put gluten in bread, it kind of creates that sticky, stretchy, poofy feeling with the, you know, in the crust and everything. So if you put that in your body, the same thing's going to happen in your body. It creates that reaction of sticking together and having that kind of solid, gooey mass, of course, and then the bread bakes and it's done. So that's what gluten is. How it behaves in your body is going to be an inflammatory, bloating. It's going to possibly create sinus problems. It's going to thicken and bloat. And your gut, you know, many times you'll wake up in the morning and your gut will be relatively flat. And then as you eat throughout the day, it poofs out. And that's because your body has to pull water from the rest of your extremities and put it into your gut. So your gut fills with water, and then it can flush it out like a toilet. In normal digestion, you would be using enzymes, and the process wouldn't do anything of the sort. It wouldn't create that sticky, gooey, ooey, snotty, phlegmy, and inflamed environment. The same is true for lactose and dairy products. Casein, whey, and lactalbumin are the bovine proteins that you want to stay away from. They use casein because it's so sticky to affix beer labels to bottles and shoes on soles onto shoes. These are real things. You can look them up. So it's a sticky environment. Can you imagine a sticky environment in your body? That is not a good thing. So it slows everything down, and you start to gain bloat and inflammation, which is water, and your body's storing water to try to flush it out, and it's reacting and having this inflammatory response. But it's just like so amazing when you stop eating gluten, how quickly the inflammation goes away and your body sheds pounds and pounds of water each week. I've seen it over and over again. It's amazing over the past 19 years since I've been gluten-free and working with people to go gluten-free. It's so rapid how someone can have chronic sinusitis and within a week get off of the medication they've been on, have chronic acid reflux, and within 3 days not need to take their meds anymore. That has to tell you something. For me, if I eat gluten, my back is broken, and the inflammation causes so much pain that I can't walk. It causes a dyslexia with me because I'm on the autistic spectrum. It has certain effects on my neurology, and can aggravate what used to be in me very debilitating, life-threatening, well, more than life-threatening, I've been on the table, asthma. But without the inflammation, our bodies can function more properly, and the things that are wrong with me or you aren't magnified like they are when we're taking an inflammatory product in our bodies. So that is why you shouldn't eat gluten and what it is. Now, how to go gluten-free? That's a great question. Today, a lot of things are labeled. Pretty much everything is labeled. Either it has gluten, it's gluten-free, or it contains wheat, or was made in a factory. Now, if it's made in a factory that also manufactures wheat products and you're not that sensitive, you can probably get away with it most of the time. People who with far greater sensitivities, they have to be obviously more careful, but 90, probably more % of us just have a, where you really can't eat things that have gluten in them, and that's it. It's not a big deal to come in contact maybe with your skin once in a while, but gluten-free products are amazing and good for you, but mostly the problem is the ingestion of the gluten, the sugar, the soy, and the lactose. So things are labeled so well these days because it's very common and people are more aware that these are allergens. They just don't think it's them. Oh, I don't have a dairy sensitivity. Yes, you do. You also can't digest lactose and your body's reacting to it. You also can't digest gluten. You can't digest and process soy or sugar. These are the things that I pretty much am 100% convinced that nobody should have in their bodies. And if you think you're not reacting to it, just give it time. There's people who might not gain weight and might not have physical problems now, but it takes time. And for example, people with blood type of A have lower acidity in their body, and so they need to be very careful with ingesting too much animal protein, because it rots and goes rancid and creates an environment that is that breeds colon cancer. If you look at the people who have colon cancer, the majority of them have blood type of A. That has everything to do with the acidity and the pH. So you want to stay uninflamed. You want to stay non-acidic by being having a non-inflammatory body. And so, like I said, things are labeled. So that's easy for you. But how do you go out and eat? How do you enjoy the foods you love if you're gluten-free? And that is actually much easier than it used to be. First of all, do not shop in the gluten-free aisle. The gluten-free section, I'm convinced, is manufactured by the companies who make all the other food to make people not like gluten-free, because if you don't like gluten-free, you're going to give up and then go back. And why is the food so expensive in the gluten-free section? Oh my goodness. So here are just some simple fixes for you. First of all, in my book, it has so much information that I can't possibly tell you all of right now, but I have lists in my book. For example, if you have to stop at 7-Eleven because you are starving, then you should eat X, Y, and Z thing. What would those things be that are gluten-free? Okay, just because you're gluten-free doesn't mean you're eating health food. Okay, so Fritos and granola bars technically are gluten-free. So they do, like the Fritos has a lot of salt and oil and corn, whatever. Okay, if you're starving, eat that instead of pretzels, which are gluten and it's going to inflame you. Or a cookie of some kind. Get a granola bar. The Nature Valley granola bars are tons and tons of sugar and lots of soy, but most people, you'll process that a little more easily than you will gluten. So go for those things and know that they're not perfect, but it's a heck of a lot better than eating a ton of gluten. And potato chips, the things that you want to look out for are things that are seasoned and things that are bread-like pretzels and cookies and things like that, crackers. But there's so many good options now. Rice crackers are amazing, and you just have to read the ingredients, because it'll either say gluten-free or contains wheat or contains gluten. And so that's one of the reasons why you want to get the book. So if you are wanting to eat tacos, for example, fine, no problem. Eat the meat. Make sure your seasoning doesn't have any gluten in it, and make it from scratch. And modified food starch is typically gluten if you're getting a seasoning packet, so look out for that. But like I said, everything's labeled now. It's so much easier. But instead of a flour tortilla, you go with corn. Go with either a sheep cheese or a goat cheese, which you're going to be able to digest, not lactose. Those milks are not lactose. Molecular structure of their sugar molecule is galactose, just like human breast milk. We're going to not have a problem with that at all. Sheep cheese is amazing. It tastes just like you'd expect cheese to taste. Goat cheese tastes kind of goaty. So if you are out at a restaurant and eating tacos, I hope usually they're going to season it from scratch. If you're talking about Taco Bell and stuff like that, of course they use seasoning packets, and of course it has gluten in it. You shouldn't be eating there anyway. But if you're going to a restaurant and getting tacos, well, let's just keep our fingers crossed, and that's when you want to have your digestive enzymes with you. But you can get it on a corn tortilla, and if you're having cow cheese, eat a little bit of chocolate, because that cocoa enzyme, although we don't have an enzyme to digest cow cheese, which is lactose, we don't have a lactase, which would be the lactose enzyme, but we have a cocoa enzyme that also digests lactose. So that you can eat a little bit of chocolate and it'll help you digest that lactose once in a while. Don't think that you can get away with this every day. This is something you want to take out of your body. The bovine milks and proteins are not good for you or me or anybody that you know. And if someone tells you that they're fine with that stuff, just wait. It's not okay. Soy and sugar, like I said, I'm just repeating myself because I really, really want you to hear me and understand When I quit eating sugar, I lost an immediate 10 pounds. I was shocked. I didn't know my body could even do that. I thought that's just the size I was. And I just had, the bloat or whatever in certain areas just because. But lo and behold, that took off another 10 pounds of water. I was shocked. So, and, there's fat. Yes, of course you can burn fat, but no amount of working out is going to eliminate the inflammation that happens from your diet. You have a amazing, fit, healthy body underneath a bunch of bloat. And that's why you can do sit-ups and not be able to see that six-pack, but you can feel it. Why can't you see it? It's because you still are inflamed. You still have that bloat. Get rid of the gluten, the lactose and dairy products, the sugar, and the soy. So what else can you eat? Let's say you want to eat a sandwich. How are you going to eat a sandwich if you can't eat any bread? Do not buy the gluten-free breads. They aren't good. If you want to eat gluten-free bread, try sourdough. Most people like sourdough bread. There's a fermentation process that happens that breaks down that gluten. And I have tried for a year to gain weight by eating sourdough bread, and my clients don't gain anything. It just is non-inflammatory for the most part. So once in a while, if you want to enjoy a sandwich, by all means do. If you want to eat some cheese, eat cheap cheese. If you want to eat spaghetti, there are amazing brown rice pastas out there. Try a few of them until you find your favorite. Maybe you'll find that in the gluten-free section. You can also order that on Amazon. And you can get the best company I've found for gluten-free pasta in every different shape that you might want is Jovial on Amazon. Jovial, Jovial. And that's all really helpful to know. And that's just a few tips and tricks. Go to my website, buy the book. It's $2.99. Amazon wouldn't let me make it free, or I'd give it to the world. And then you can also join the Facebook page. Jennifer V. Jones is the website. The Southern California Secret Diet Club is the book. Join the club for free. It's just a Facebook page where I answer questions and promote different things like this conference call. And then you can also go to the link that says products and check out all the products. You can get those wholesale. It is a membership-driven product line, but the brand is better than anything else you'll find out there. You'll be able to get everything gluten-free, from your cosmetics to your protein shakes to little yummy candy taffy things that actually are all herbal and botanically based. So we have energy drinks. We have, like I said, protein powders. You can use as meal replacement or extra meals or extra nutrition, depending on if you need to lose or gain weight or gain some nutrition in your life, which all of us do. And you can think that you eat organic and all this other stuff, which is fantastic, but the world just isn't the same place anymore. And the soil, the air, and the water from the rain is not what it used to be. So we need to bridge that gap with nutrition in our lives. And this is the way to do it. So click and check out that product line. And you can always call me for a consultation. You guys know I'm a softie, and I want to help people who are looking to help themselves. Of course, I'm always looking for consultants to help me spread the word and help me do this, because it is not hard. Anybody can do it. As you see, I've just given you the total rundown in about 10 minutes, and you can do it too. I am looking for people to help me get the word out there. It's pretty amazing, because people know. How many people do you know who don't feel well, don't sleep well, don't look good? And this is why, and we can help them, and that's why I do what I do. There are a lot of people really desperate and struggling out there. They're desperate for answers, and this is the answer. Of course, you've got to live the life and show this to people. I think it's pretty clear that I take good care of myself. I'm very healthy. I lead a non-inflammatory lifestyle. Now, is there room for growth for me? Yes. And as I learn more, I share it with you guys, because no one should have to live without the knowledge of how to make choices. Do I eat gluten sometimes? Yes, I do. Do I eat pizza and donuts? I absolutely do. As a matter of fact, I just did on the way here to do this video, because I was so incredibly hungry, but I don't do it every day, and I have digestive enzymes. So once in a while, I can make it happen, and I don't have the problems because I have the digestive enzymes. So that's the difference. So you don't have to live a life. You will not feel deprived by this diet at all. It's a lifestyle. Not only will you not feel deprived, because there's so many amazing things that you can eat. They make sourdough English muffins. Is there anything wrong with English muffins? Oh my gosh, they're amazing. I could eat 2 packs a day. and cheese, the sheep cheese. There's so many ways that you can live fully and not feel deprived and eat whatever you want to eat. And also not only feel healthy and fit and young and vibrant, but look it. And there's nothing wrong with that. You want to be the best person you can be. And when you look beautiful and radiant and energetic, people will want to know how to do it. Most of them are just nosy. But guess what? When you start answering those questions and people start following what you do, you're changing the world for the better. You're helping people. And that's why you need to go forth in life and be the best person you can be. Now, we are energetic creatures, and so the food you eat and the things you drink and whatever you put on your body and your environment in general should resonate at least as high as your energy, if not higher, because if it resonates more low, if it's lower resonating than you, it's going to pull you down into disease and dishealth and diswellness. Keep your energy of your things very, very high. You know if you're resonating low. You know, today I had what I had to eat, and am I going to pay for it on an energetic level? Yeah, I will. But what I want to do is teach you to make the choice, to be informed and decide for yourself, because that's the problem with most people. They don't know what to do. So I'm telling you what to do, and you decide how to use that in your life. Now you're informed. And if you choose to do nothing, that's for you to do. You can ignore this information, but don't ignore why you might have certain illnesses and discomforts and diseases. Now you know why. So stop complaining about them. When you're ready to do something about it, I will help you, and you will feel empowered. Because you know what's right. You know what you're supposed to do and not do. You know exactly why you have that extra 10, 20, 30, 40 pounds. You know if it's soy, sugar, if it's gluten, or if it's dairy. You know. And so now you're informed. And I hope that I can help you on a regular basis to make the right choices and help you guide you through this process of becoming well. So get the book, join the club, pick up some products for you. I'll give you a consultation if you need recommendations. Get some digestive enzymes. Get a 7-day body cleanse. Start using a protein powder that's going to fuel your body and is vegan and gluten-free and soy-free and lactose-free. Obviously, it's vegan, and no dyes or fillers or anything like that. These products can change your life because they'll bridge the gap from where you are now and make your transition more easy. And that is how I can help you, my friends. I hope that this has been helpful for you and that you tune in again. It's been wonderful. There's my son. It's time for me to go. Ciao, you guys.